Hello and welcome to the Toy Thor. Again, I hope. I hope at least some of you are coming back to watch this. And I sincerely hope that some of you are watching this for the first time. My name's Craig. I'm the Toy Thor, partly because I've got a Viking heritage and because I'm obsessed a little bit with toys, predominantly action men and cars, but anything that takes me back to my childhood, really. So, and a lot of people are following me on this little journey that I'm having at the moment, my little midlifer maybe, because I was diagnosed with dementia 2 years ago at the age of 51, 54 this year. So this is a little interesting social experiment for me. And it's just keeping my mind active. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you all the things that I buy for myself, to do the things that I like to do. So, and the shelves behind me are a bit of a testament as to the kind of things that I like. So thank you very much for joining me. We've got a few things to unbox today. Got some big, some small. Not everything I'm going to unbox today is necessarily toys or toy related. One or two bits, they kind of are related, but not fully. And some bits I've completely forgotten what they are. So as I open each box and go through it, I'll tell you the reasons why I've bought it and what it's for. And hopefully you'll get it. So bear with me. So I'm going to don my safety specs. How are you all? Have you had a good week? Have you been well? Have you been warm? Oh my God, how bad is the weather for the middle of April? It's just absolutely bloody freezing. So yeah, you just can't keep up. I mean, it handily falls into the time when all of our energy prices are the lowest they've ever been, so we can afford to keep our heating on and keep our fires lit. But yeah, there's no coincidence there, is there? So, but yeah, I hope you're all well. I've had my bloods taken today, because I have a little blood condition that I also suffer with, which is partly what is promoting my vascular dementia. It adds to it anyway. So I have to have my bloods taken every couple of weeks to make sure I'm within a certain range. My blood needs to be about 3.5 times thinner than the average human. And a lot of people suffer with this. It's called antiphospholipid syndrome. And the most painful thing about this condition, the most difficult thing about this condition, is spelling it. You don't ever get asked by a doctor or a nurse to spell antiphospholipid syndrome. You can't do it. You have to write it yourself. You can see it when you write it, but in your head it sounds like an episode of Countdown. So yeah, but yeah, that just adds to my little list of woes and troubles. So, but as long as my blood's nice and thin, then it doesn't clot, because I've had lots of deep vein thromboses and I've had pulmonary embolisms and all kinds of good stuff. So my blood being nice and thin is great, until you cut yourself, he says, as he's throwing around a sharp knife for all of his box openings. My wife goes mad at me, but I figure, you have to live life on the edge. Sitting in my room surrounded by action men, it's not exactly a action movie, is it? So there you go, it's my only excitement. So I'm going to start off with a little package that I think I know what this is. I think this is a friend that sent me this, somebody that is high up in my estimation in the Action Man world. If it is, I mean, it's brown tape. So as you know, a lot of you, I think he watches me. So he's either done this because this is how he packages things and he makes sure that they're all immaculate, or he's done this just to wind me up. One of the two. I don't know which it is. So I don't know whether to joke about it or whether to be serious about it. But yeah, yes, it is. So, right, what this is, and I'll take each sort of piece out as they come. This is from a lovely, lovely chap that I would like to call a friend now, called Jeffrey Croxford. And Jeffrey runs a couple of fantastic Action Man groups, but the main one is it's just brilliant. It's an absolute awesome source of chat. I'll put a link up here, by the way, a Facebook link for it. It'll go there. But yeah, it's an awesome page. The people on it are fantastic. There's one or two strange guys on there, but they're harmless enough, as I'm learning to find out. My trouble is, in my little head, my dementia sometimes means I take things a bit seriously or a bit too literally. So, but no. Anyway, Jeffrey also does raffles. He makes the most beautiful, honest Action Men setups, and then he raffles them off, so you get a chance of winning them, and they're really good. Anyway, he's very kindly got in contact with me and said I've got these bits because I'd seen a post that he did of a German sidecar outfit, and the gun on it was astonishing, and I commented on it, and he said I've got a spare that just needs fixing up, and he knows that I've just got into my modelling, and he sent me these. So it's, I think it's an MG 60, I think I'd like to say. So there's the barrel. This is metal, this is all die cast, it's beautiful. There's the bipod. There's the stock and trigger mechanism. God, it's heavy. It's really nicely done. I don't know who's made these originally. That's the top stock lock for reloading. So, I mean, it could be MG42, but it's got. I noticed that it had a side loading magazine, and I didn't really recognise that. But I mean, you get the idea. If I show you how this is supposed to come together, it's all broken apart at the moment, but it will be nice. But you get the idea if I just hold it together. The gun, that is, not my demeanor. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? I'm definitely going to have fun building that. So, Jeffrey, thank you so very much. You are an absolute gentleman, and I'd just like to say that you and a couple of other guys on the groups, they make this collection, hobby, passion, obsession, a real joy. There's a chap runs a group called Lloyd. There is Nick Haberley, the guru for me. His kit bashes are astonishing. Yeah, it's brilliant, and I love these communities, I really do. So that's the first thing, and at least that was toy related. So let's have a look else at what we've got here. Obviously little envelopes. I'm buying little bits and bobs. So I'm buying accessories to go with my modelling. I say modelling, remodelling. I take an existing Palitoy or Shirley, something or other, and I try and make it better. Okay, yeah, and with that, this is what this is for. What I've bought here, and it looks tiny, but it's supposed to. This is chain link, modelling chain link, and the idea for this is I'm going to use it as tie downs on some of the tanks. So this is what, when I put a loose track on the side of a tank, they would have been chained on. So this is why I've bought this hobby chain. That's only 3mm. You could go for a heavier gauge, but on 1/6 scale it wouldn't look right, because they wouldn't chain things onto a tank back then with chains that were too big to handle. So that's why I bought that. So that's cool. Just a couple of pounds. Now we've got a little box. Again, don't know what's in here. And these boxes are often an absolute enigma to open. I never know whether they open along the front edge or the bottom edge. I think it's the bottom edge. I think. But do you know, the reason I'm cautious about opening these like this is I try and save them, because I always try and reuse the boxes if I'm swapping something out or selling something on. I try and reuse the boxes, but these boxes, some of them I can't quite get my head round the way that they're supposed to work. So what I end up doing is, rather than cutting it, I'm just going to rip it open because I can't be bothered, and you can't be bothered. Ah, cool. Here we go. So these are little teeny tiny jerry cans. So you may have seen in one of my other videos I bought some 20-litre jerry cans at 1/6 scale. These are a much smaller scale, and the reason I bought these in a much smaller scale is because I'm going to mark these up as oil cans, because obviously there's no way a tank or a Jeep would carry around 20 litres of oil. They would the fuel, but the oil would be much shorter. So these are smaller, so these will be painted up and yeah, made into oil cans for both, mainly the German stuff that I'm doing. And I think they'll look pretty cool, and I think each one of them comes out of its stand. It's not its stand. I do apologise, I'm struggling a little bit today with my speech. Yesterday was a strange little foggy day in some respects, and today I'm still having a hangover from it. Yeah, so you can see the crate that it sits in, the holder, and then that comes out, and I think, isn't that a fantastic thing? So once I've attached that onto the side of a vehicle and painted it up, people will be able to remove it. They're lovely. They're absolutely brilliant. They're going to make such a big deal, and that will keep me busy for the next 10 models there. So along with the chain link. Cool. Okay, what have we got in here? Something exciting. I recognise the address. I'm hoping this is something I'm desperately short of at the moment, and I've had to wait for these to go in stock. Look at me, I can't even guide that in there. There we go. What have we got going on in here? Oh, yes. Cool. Okay, what we have here is 3 pairs of hands. Yay! I was running short on hands, and they've been out of stock in a lot of places, but very fortunately Mike at Vaman, we actually did a little trade, so big shout out to Mike, thank you so much. He's working on a new project at the moment and needed some bits and bobs, and I had some bits and bobs and I sent them over, and he's very kindly traded me some hands for it, which is the kind of thing that I love to do. I love trading with other guys. I love swapping out. It takes you back to being a kid when you'd all swap your toys, and then you'd have an irate parent knocking on your door 3 or 4 hours later saying, your son's got my son's whatever, and they shouldn't be swapping toys. We've spent good money buying that. But when you're kids, you don't think about the money, do you? You just used to think about you had something cool. Whenever you went to your mate's house, their toys always seemed way better than yours. Even if sometimes they weren't, or they were a lot cheaper, it didn't really matter as a kid. If you were playing with their toys, they just seemed a bit cooler, and therefore you'd want them. So you'd swap things out, and you'd sometimes financially get the bad end of the stick for it. So, right, what's in here? I don't know what's in here. Oh, yes, do. Cool. This is some Tamiya extra thin glue. I don't know whether just recently I got 2 bottles of this. Whether just recently, do you remember I said to you about I'd used some EMA weld? I think it was one of my earlier videos. I used some plastic glue called EMA Weld, and loads of you swear by it, and I just couldn't get on with it at all. I find it really hit and miss. You can fill plastic joints with it with a paintbrush, and you watch it go in, you watch it evaporate, and then you let go of it and it all falls apart, and you're just thinking, oh my God. So I went online, did a load of research, and the guys who are the sort of top modelers around there, a lot of them swear by this, the Tamiya extra thin cement, and it works the same way as the EMA, but it's a lot more effective, and it comes with its own little applicator, so you don't have to keep finding paintbrushes and stuff. So I'm going to give that a go. I'll let you know how I get on with it, but it's quite apt that that arrives just at the same time as those, because they're all going to be doing the same job. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's cool. Let's see what else we've got in here that's exciting. This is the last super small package now. Oh, this is very apt to what I'm doing here today. This has got nothing at all to do with toys, technically. It's just a little tripod, handheld. It folds into a tripod, and it's for my camera, so that when I go out and about toy hunting with you guys, I can hold you a bit better than holding the screen and pressing all the buttons I shouldn't be pressing. And also here, where I've got my phone set up, it's going to allow me to just have the phone stood and facing me. At the moment, you're leaning against some Valiant books and Battle Picture Weekly books and a cup of tea coaster with Desperate Dan on it. That's how you're stood there at the moment. So yeah, cool, really happy with that. It was only a couple of quid. I'm not buying anything expensive for this. I'm not trying to be flash. This is just about you and me, chit-chatting and sharing stuff. So, boxes of stuff. I've got a few. I'm not going to open that one just yet. I've opened too many of those just lately. Those of you that have watched my videos probably already know what's in there now, but I'm not going to open that one. Look, it's a shoebox. Yay! So we all know, don't we? Without shoeboxes, there would be no trading of Action Men goods whatsoever, because no one would know how to package them. It's just hilarious, isn't it? Shoeboxes lead the world in packaging technology. Right, there we go. That's some really good sellotape on it. Yeah, cool. It's get open. There we go. Right, guys, this is exciting. This is the first time in a little while I've had some real good bits and bobs to show you. How are we doing for time? We're on 18 minutes, so I've got enough time to run through some of this with you. I've cleared bits on my phone, and I found a way of getting stuff to you longer. This is a big box of accessories, which I paid very, very little for about a week and a half ago. Some of it's broken, some of it's not. So Browning, without its stand. I'm going to open the rest on a part 2. There'll be a part 2 to this video, because I just want to run through some of this with you. We've got the usual ubiquitous deep sea diver outfit there. We have a messy old pilot's uniform. So there's one or two bits in here which I saw were in really nice condition. I've not got to them yet, bear with me. So I just bought this because it was cheap. That's the only reason I bought it. It was dirt cheap. I think this whole lot sold in the end for about 13 quid, 14 quid. And it was just at the last minute I decided to go for it. This is one reason I looked at it, but sadly it's destroyed. This is the only thing that happens, isn't it, when you're buying job lots, is when the photographs are taken, nothing's very rarely taken individually. This was a scuba diver's suit, half of it, but as you can see, it's absolutely shredded. Oh, that's a real shame. We all know these degrade, and I probably wouldn't have put him on an Action Man anyway, but it would have been nice to have a rubber suit that was in half decent order. Okay, we've got stuff in here that isn't Action Man, stuff in here that is Action Man. So we've got a diving buoy just there. We've got sledgehammers for the deep sea diver. We've got I think that's a second issue paratrooper jacket. In fact, that is the paratrooper jacket. That's in really nice condition, so that's good. And we have an Indian Brave top, which is nice. We also have a infantry with all of the insignia on it. It's not often you get an infantry jacket with all the insignia on it, let's be honest. We've got some very strange things. That's not Action Man. Can't be. So that's got to be something like Ken, Barbie's Ken, something like that. I don't know. That's a bit weird. Some of you may know what that is, and you can tell me. Wow, so these are the tracksuit trousers to the bobble hat that I have. I had one of my Action Men set up at Christmas with a little blue bobble hat, and these are the training trousers to it. That'll be hilarious if I can put that together. $6 Million Man, Steve Austin's jacket. I've just sold, because I don't have a Steve Austin. I know what I'm trying to say. But I've just sold the trousers and a pair of shoes to this, but I do have another pair of shoes. I don't really want one. I did have Steve Austin as a kid, but I don't really want one. I don't think they're half as versatile as Action Man. You can't swap the clothes over because they're too big. So yeah, I'm not really that fussed. I do like to look at them and reminisce, but I'm not keen on having one. So that will be going up for sale with some of the other Action Man, some of the other Steve Austin bits I've got. That's a really nice Arctic jacket. That's going to be a third release though, because it's very thin and it's got the stuck on jacket. That's the Deep Sea Divers. There is a Arctic jacket. There's Arctic boots in there. There's the Shirley rifle. There is, I've got another one of these. I was going to ask someone, what helmets are these that slope backwards? Are they Russian, or were they GI Joe, Japanese? What were they? Is it Tommy Gun? Is it Little Big Man? In fact, it must be Tommy Gun or Action Man because of the lugs that it's got inside. But that sloping helmet, I don't know what that's off. I do have another one of those. We've got loads of boots in here. Finally, I've been after one of these for ages. So again, that's the is it the Mountaineer, the Expedition helmet? I haven't got one, and I've often been waiting for one. I won't purchase one because I'm as tight as I'll only buy the things if they're in a job lot. So I'm really happy that that's come along. And I saw this in there. Now this isn't Action Man. This looks more homemade. I don't know if this will fit an Action Man, but I had an idea of this for a kit bash. As you know, I've got a lot of 7th Cavalry and Cowboys, and if any of you have seen the film The Outlaw Josie Wales, not The Outlaw Josie Wales, come on Craig, sort it out, Pale Rider, the Clint Eastwood movie, the guys he faces off at the end were one of these. and they look cool. So I'm thinking cowboy with that. I've got the head that I got off Wills Ruddleston, that is a grey hair, and I've quite fancy doing a cowboy all in black, and I looked at that coat and thought, yes, that would look cool with it. This is a Superman suit. Okay, different one on me, must be off of Marks or something like that. And then we have a really nice waistcoat. Again, another ideal thing for Kit Bash. We've got some helmets. We have a first issue green beret that sadly has lost all its elastic, so that's knackered. Beret. We've got a couple of later edition pullovers, which are made of that acrylic, but they can be repaired. I repair those. I do a lot of sewing and I enjoy repairing them. And we have yet another Space Ranger helmet, which I've got loads of. I've got some of those for sale. And we've got, oh, hello, another Steve Austin shirt. I didn't see that. That's cool. Couple of Steve Austin things. What have we got in here? So we've got the Deep Sea Divers Bell helmet. Sadly not intact. It hasn't got the red tap on it. So again, we're reaching a point where you can't give those away because everyone's got them. Right, let's see if there's anything else interesting, guys, for you. We've got a duffel coat, a later issue one, and it hasn't got any of the duffel buttons on it, sadly. And then there's loads of boots, loads of things like air tanks. There's the rest of the Indian Brave outfit. So we've got a couple of full outfits in there, which is really nice. We've got the adventurous trousers. We've got, again, another pilot set of overalls. I must have 40 sets of those. We've got some granny knit trousers. No job lot would be complete without some granny knit trousers. Ah, excellent. Here it is, and it's not fully intact, but that's the scuba diving hood. It's got a little split in the top, but yeah, it's not often you find those, is it? Let's be honest. They're a rarity, especially if they're intact. Okay, and then is that everything really? Just one or two bits and bobs of little bits of clothing, but it's all fairly decimated. Kit bag, that's cool for webbing. There's a couple of knives in here, a couple of divers knives, scuba diver knives, which is wicked. Yeah, just little bits and bobs of clothing really. And then finally, Shirley machine gun, which is great. It just needs a new post putting on it, which I make from Lego antennas, and that glue will come in handy for building that. So I need all of these that I can get, and I try and get these. I mean, some of these sell for between £17 and £25 a piece if they're intact. So I've paid £13 for this job lot, and I've got one in it that needs a bit of work. I've got another Browning in here that is intact, and I've got a shoulder holster which is intact. So I think for 13 quid, just those three bits alone would have been, they'd have made someone happy. But I've got an Indian Brave outfit. I've got a Mountaineer's helmet that I really wanted. And we've got the Steve Austin stuff. So just for those bits alone, wasn't this well worth it? Really happy. Another jumper. And the Indian Braves moccasins are in here as well. Yeah, the other ones there. Cool. So I think we've done really well. I really do. And if somebody can tell me what these spangly disco pants are off, then you're a better person than me. You're also a bit weird, aren't you? You shouldn't know what the little spangly trousers are off. That's it. That is it. I just want to be sure I'm not missing anything small. I mean, the little helmets, they've got to be worth a £5 just on their own, haven't they? I'd have thought. I've sold them for a £5 before now. Cool. That's that lot. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. I need to stop saying guys because I don't like it when YouTubers call everyone guys. Folks, people, nutcases, all of you. I'm going to leave that there. There is going to be a part 2 to this because I don't want it dragging on. So I'll get myself sorted and I'll try and start talking properly, and then I'll come back to you. But thank you so much for watching this part 1, and I hope it's of some interest to you. Right, I'll see you very soon. Cheers.